Hello, my viewers. Welcome to the Lifestyle Tips with yours truly, Christine. For those that are joining me for the first time, I want to welcome you here. And for those that have been following my previous videos, I want to thank you so much for the continued support. Now, as you may or may not know, I share lifestyle tips from different reputable magazines. And for today's topic, I'm going to be sharing some tips um, that have to do with taxes. For my viewers that are in Canada, we know that it's the tax season, and this is the time everyone has to file taxes. I know we might not be big fans of taxes, but because we enjoy all the other services that come out of taxes, it's a must to pay taxes in Canada. So, and I believe everywhere else. But so my focus for today will be tips that have to do with taxes, some of the tax credit you can apply for my viewers that are living in Canada. So I hope you're ready. I hope you're comfortable. Let's roll. All right, so today's tips, tax tips are coming from this magazine here. Some of you might be familiar with the magazine, some may not be, but I've shared some tips, some neat tips from this magazine from my previous videos. For those who didn't get a chance to see that video, you can just go back through my previous videos. You come across it. So I'm once again sharing tax tips. It has some really neat financial information. So if you want to get yourself a copy, I would suggest you go online. Now, the name of this magazine is called the Financial Post magazine, and this is an old edition, but it still carries valid tips that I think you and I can use as far as you know the tax season goes. All right, so let's roll into the tips. But before I get into the tips, as usual, I'm going to be sharing I'm going to be sharing, highlighting the topic, and then we'll get to the juicy part. All right, so all I'm asking for you to do is hang in there with me and let's go. All right, so the necessity of taxes doesn't mean you should pay more than you need to. Here are ways to make sure you get what's coming to you. And as I'm going to continue to quote, no one likes taxes, except for the few people who voluntarily pay more than they should to help cash out strapped governments. But they are a necessity since someone has to pay for the services that we enjoy or complain about. That said, there is no reason why we should use every uh, that said, there is no reason we shouldn't use every available deductible and tax credit that means filing a return even if you don't have to pay taxes. We are looking specifically at you, students with little or no income, especially if your parents are using your tuition tax credit, which will be worth up to 5,000 per child. But if you worked at all, filing a return starts building up room in your RSP, something that might come in handy later on, granted. Now, I'm not as I'm sure you know that I'm not a tax expert, so I would advise whatever tips we have here. If you have any questions with regards to what I'm going to share today, I would suggest that you either you either contact your um, accountant or bookkeeping person who does the taxes for you, so they can throw some more highlights on what we're going to be talking about today. Okay, all right, so here are some of the basic things you need to know as filing your taxes goes. Number one, file a return. This seems obvious, but low income earners, those who don't make enough to pay taxes, often skip this step, but it makes sense to file since you might qualify for GST credit. Okay, number two, a good tax return should end with number 0. It's not meant to bankrupt you. In April, it's not meant to bankrupt you in April, and it's not meant to be a huge savings. H and R H and R blocks Caroline Batista says, if you aren't zeroing out, revisit your federal and provincial territorial TD1 forms that are filed with your employer. Perhaps something has changed in your life that isn't reflected on these forms, and your employer is taking off too much or too little for tax purposes. All right. So this is kind of obvious. When you're filing your taxes, you gotta have zero. Whoever is preparing your taxes for you, or if you're personally doing your taxes for yourself, you gotta have zero at you gotta have zero before you file those taxes. So if you don't have that zero amount, then you know definitely something has changed. So you want to look into that. Number three, be especially careful with TD1 forms. If you're having several jobs, as not enough tax may be withdrawn in total. If, for example, you make 10 grand at the 5 jobs, none of the employers will withhold any tax. But at the tax time, you have earned a total of 50 grand, and that is more than enough to pay taxes on. Batista says this often arises with subcontractors and workers in professional offices, such as dental hygienists and secretaries who work part-time for different bosses. Okay, so my understanding of this point is that if you're making less than 10 grand, you might not your employee might not give you a tax form, so you have to personally file the taxes on your own. So if you're doing several jobs and you earn over 50 a total of 50 grand in total, then you have to file those tax returns on your own. All right. Number four, declare all your income. It's an honest declaration of your worldwide income, Batista says. People have often known to skip the issue if they profit from selling on sites such as eBay or from blogging. Okay, so my understanding here again is that you have to declare every single penny that you make as income in your tax returns, even for those who have online businesses. If that business is earning you some money, that income needs to be declared. Okay, now that's the four basic tips as far as your basic tax filing your tax on some of the basic items. Now I'm gonna go to tax tax what you need to know as with regards to filing your tax if you have children. All right. Now a tuition credit of up to 5,000 per child can be transferred to a parent, but the student must file so that Canada Revenue can reconcile its accounts. Students should file anywhere to get the GST credit. Okay, so if you have some members of if you have children in your household that pay tuition up to 5,000, that amount can be transferred to you as a parent, and you can actually request for credit for that tuition based on my understanding of it. Okay, number six, which is under the tax credits for your children. Interest on student loans can be claimed, but only if it's a government loan. All right. Number seven, income from a registered education savings plan must be claimed as income. The principal payments are safe since they come from another tax savings, but any growth in the plan accounts as income and must be claimed. All right, so my understanding of this is that if you've opened up as a registered education savings plan and you're earning, you're making some earnings out of that account, yes, you have to. That has to be claimed as income. You have to claim that in your tax when you're doing your tax returns. All right, number eight, the children's fitness tax credit is now up to $1,000 per child. The fees must be paid during the previous year. In this case, it will be 2016, which is important to remember for programs that continue past December 31st and have staged payment. Now, my understanding of this is that if you have your child registered in any activities, physical activities that you're paying for, um, you can actually file for that to be given that, because there's a fitness tax credit that goes up to $1,000. But you want to make sure that happened the previous year before the year when you're filing your taxes. You might be eligible to get some credits back on that. Okay, and number 9, the enhanced universal child care benefits applies to children older than 6 but under 16. Though this is not claimed as part of the return, parents have to file out RRC 66 to apply. Now, I know this benefit was available to parents with the previous government, so I'm not sure if the current government is issuing that benefit. But again, you want to check with your accountant or your whoever is doing your taxes for you, filing your taxes for you. Or if you're doing your taxes personally, you can always call Canada Revenue or go online and find out if that's a credit that you can apply for. Number 11, public transport passes for your children or your spouse, common law partner can be claimed if you aren't using that credit. All right, so if your children are using transport, if you're spending on transportation for your children, either through public transport, or you're giving them money to, or you're paying for that transportation to get them wherever they need to do, or any member of the household, you can claim that cost when you're doing your credit. All right, so yeah, that has been it, my viewers. Again, I hope you find these tips useful. It's because we all know it's that time that we need to file our taxes, and it doesn't matter, even when you make zero income, you have to file your taxes. Now, if you have any questions regarding this, please, I would suggest you note down those questions and then ask your whoever is doing your taxes, your accountant, your bookkeeper, to look into the details. Or you can always go to the Canada Revenue website, or even call them to find out more information. Again, I've been your host, Christine. It's been a pleasure as always. Please, if you want to get my videos, remember you have to subscribe. And my videos, as I noted below, my videos come out every once. We're gonna start having videos come out once each week. So look out for that, please. And also, don't forget to like. And also, if you find these tips helpful, please share them with somebody that might find them helpful. Please remember, sharing is caring. That's the reason I share some of the tips here that I come across. It's not just for everybody else, but it's for me as well, right? It's a learning process, and there's always something new to learn. Okay, so that's it. I'm not gonna say much until our next video. Thank you so much for tuning in. Until then, cheers and take care.